Suppose you decided to convert to Judaism, and somehow you managed to overcome all the issues present in Judaism. You have no problem with the fact that in Judaism, God is described with attributes that are unbefitting, such as getting tired and needing to rest. And you have no issue with him being described with the attribute of regret. Exalted is he. And you have no problem with the prophets in the Torah being described with disgraceful attributes. That God didn't know or couldn't choose good prophets, some of whom committed adultery, like David, and some of whom stole, like Jacob, and some of whom disbelieved, like Solomon. Let's suppose you have no problem with any of that, and you have no issue with the Torah being full of errors, contradictions, and distortions, and you have no problem with the texts about killing children, infants, women, and animals. You don't have any problem with anything at all. And you've decided to convert to Judaism. Of course, it's not like you can just say the two testimonies to yourself, and that's it. No, my dear, it's not that simple. You have to go to the rabbi, and he will explain the process to you and guide you through the correct steps. You can't just tell him that you're convinced and that's it. There are specific steps you have to follow exactly. The first stage is the journey of discouragement and making things difficult. When you go to the rabbi, the first thing he'll do after talking to you for a bit is tell you that you have to attend classes to learn Hebrew. Yes, you have to learn Hebrew to become Jewish, not just any Hebrew. You also have to attend classes to learn about Jewish beliefs, law, and holidays. You can't just tell him that you studied them online, for example. No, you have to actually attend these lessons. So how long does this take? Is it a few days, a few months, or what? The period ranges from about 1.5 years to almost 3 years. Keep in mind, I'm not talking about optional things here. These are mandatory requirements. You will not be accepted into Judaism until you have fulfilled all these conditions. The rabbi will tell you that since you intend to become Jewish, you must move to live among a committed and active Jewish community and observe all the religious laws with them, including the Sabbath laws. That you don't do anything on the Sabbath. You can't even press the light switch to turn on the light or turn on the TV or drive a car or use the elevator and all that sort of thing. And within the Jewish community, you must also adhere to the Jewish dietary laws. You can only eat kosher food. There are many other requirements you have to follow. If you don't go live with the Jewish community, you won't be accepted. And if you don't adhere to the 613 Jewish commandments, you won't be accepted. So, after you've spent several years learning Hebrew, studying the law, learning the faith, living among Jews, and following all the commandments and laws, after that, you'll go to the religious court, the Beit Din, where you'll sit before 3 rabbis who will test you and assess how sincere you are about converting to Judaism. If they approve you, then you move on to the final rituals. First, if you're male, you must be circumcised if you aren't already. But if you are, that's not enough. They will still draw a single drop of blood from the circumcision site. After the circumcision, there's the immersion, where you are placed in a large pool of water and fully submerged. It's something similar to ablution in Islam or baptism in Christianity. Then you take a Hebrew name instead of your current name. So, for example, if your name is Sami, you might choose the name Netanyahu, meaning gift of God. You can choose any name you want, it's up to you. Let's summarize the previous part before we look at the next disaster coming up now. First, you go to a rabbi. Then you attend official educational courses where you study Hebrew and Judaism for about 3 years. Then, 3 rabbis will test you, and if they approve you, you'll be immersed in water at the mikveh, undergo circumcision, and be given a Hebrew name. That's it. Congratulations, you've become a Jew, but if you die like this, your fate is hell. But that's it, you're free now. So after that, are you just like the original Jews? Of course not, you'll never be like them. And that brings us to the second point. A second-class Jew. You'll be a convert Jew at a lower status than the originals. It's not like Islam. All Muslims in Islam are equal brothers. But in Judaism, there's a big difference between an original Jew and an ordinary Jew. The original Jew holds a much higher status. Even a sinful Jew is in a higher position than you. Even the heretical Jew who left Judaism became an atheist or converted to another religion. In the end, he's still better than you as a convert Jew. Why? Because he is of Jewish descent, lineage, and blood. But you are an outsider. So what matters in Judaism is race and lineage, not belief or religion. In addition to this, if you want to get married, you are not allowed to marry from the upper class, the class of priests. But you are allowed to marry from the outcast groups that original Jews are not permitted to marry. For example, a foundling or the daughter of adultery. Original Jews are not allowed to marry them, but you are. Congratulations. Of course, this isn't just for you, but also for your descendants after you. This is because the convert is in a lower rank, which allows his blood to be mixed with the outcasts. But the blood of the original Jew is protected. One of the most important Jewish scholars and rabbis in all of history is Rabbi Moses ben Maimon, known as Maimonides, the Rambam. He says that a convert or a freed woman, even if she converted or was freed before the age of 3 years and 1 day, since she is not of Israelite origin, she is forbidden to the priest. The most important Jewish legal reference is a book called the Shulchan Aruch, the Set Table. This book was authored by Rabbi Yosef Karo in the 16th century AD. It says that anyone who is not of the seed or lineage of Israel is forbidden to the priest. Anyone who is a convert is prohibited for the priest to marry. As for positions, you are not allowed to become a priest or a judge. You're not even allowed to assume political or military leadership. Moses Maimonides says, "We do not appoint a king from among the converts unless his mother is originally an Israelite Jew, and it's not just the king, but we do not appoint a tax collector, a treasurer, or a policeman. In short, no position of authority over Israel is given except to someone whose origin is from Israel." Of course, from the children of Israel, not Israel as a state, he's talking about the children of Israel. Even in prayer, when you pray, you have different supplications than the original Jews. So when you convert to Judaism, you won't have the same rights and privileges as an original Jew. For them, you are not considered part of God's chosen people because you are not of Jewish descent. When you convert to Judaism, forget the verse. The most honorable of you in God's sight is the most righteous. In Judaism, lineage and ancestry matter, not faith or religion. Also forget the prophet's words in the farewell sermon. O people, indeed your Lord is one and your Father is one, truly all of you. There is no superiority of an Arab over a non-Arab, nor a non-Arab over an Arab, nor a red over a black, nor a black over a red, except by righteousness. The most honorable of you in the sight of God is the most righteous of you. Praise be to God for the blessing of Islam. Praise be to God for Abraham's faith. Who would turn away from Abraham's faith except one who makes a fool of himself? We chose him in this world, and in the hereafter he will be among the righteous. When his Lord said to him, "Submit," he said, "I have submitted to the Lord of the worlds." Praise be to God, Lord of the worlds.